We're going to talk about things to brace yourself for when moving to the country.
Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe.
Welcome back to the channel, Goshen Country Living. This channel has evolved into one that was, is to encourage others, to provide encouragement that, oh, we did it, you can do it too. All right. The first thing I can think of is the distance.
Mm-hmm.
The distance from the town. So if you're moving from the town, I remember living in Portmore. We used to walk to the supermarket. It was so close. Everything was there was a shop right beside my house. The accessibility was crazy. It was so close. Church was right. I passed two churches to go to my church. You went to the closest church, so
Yes, I was to where I live. I was at the closest church.
right. So everything was accessible to us. When we were going to university, there was a bus that came and picked us up right at our bus stop. So the accessibility was there. But when we come to the country now,
Everything is more spread out, so it's much more difficult to get to stuff. So when you're going to town, for example, you have to make sure that you plan your trips carefully, because if you miss anything or forget to do something, it may take a couple days for you to be able to circle back and do that. When you live so far from the town, and also you're gonna need to have car or some access to a vehicle, because the transportation system is not as reliable. Sometimes you'll pass people waiting for buses or taxis for minutes, for maybe sometimes hours. I don't know. We often have to give people rides,
yeah,
on our way, because
we
it's
just know it's
it's
difficult.
difficult. Schools are far, work is far, the store is far, church is far, for the most part. So it does add up, and you have to kind of think about that for your day. So you're planning your day around how long it's gonna take for you to get to X, Y, Z, and then to come back home and to do
Yeah,
everything.
yeah. So I love that you touched that. The fact that there's really little to no public transportation.
Mm-hmm.
In where we live, there is transportation, but we have to walk all right, in Portmore we just walk maybe a minute to go take the taxi. No, we walk much further to be able to take taxi, which is not is that public transportation, or somebody just decided they're gonna use their car to make transportation. It's not like the
It's
government
not government.
provided,
Yeah.
you know.
It,
So the transport is definitely an issue. And as Shion said, every day I'm driving,
mm-hmm.
I give people a ride. They had an encounter the other day where you pick up somebody. What they said to you?
What did they say to me? I don't remember, but
You said you were driving in the car, you saw somebody, you pick them up, and they said, "Oh, I thought it was your
oh,
wife."
that's not even the most recent one either. So that's why I was lost on what you're saying. But yeah, yes. So so that was back in the summer when I was driving and I saw somebody. But it's happened so often. So even more recently than that, I've picked up
People,
several
yeah,
people, students, and um, I try to be careful who you pick up to. So you have to also, have to be wise.
I only pick up women. I'm
Who
gonna
you
be
pick up.
very honest. I don't pick up no man.
If,
There's only one man I can think that I pick up, and it's an old elderly man
right.
who has a crutch, and I always see him and pick him up. But I try to be very wise with that too.
Women, student, elderly.
Yes,
So you have to be careful.
that's my thought process there.
Um, yeah,
And here we are finding things. The next thing is the insects.
yeah. I mean,
Come on, man.
insects are everywhere, but you have to. I feel like you're in a much more close proximity and contact with them.
I was checking if this is working. Go speak. You can go on. So
So here you have to battle with.
yeah.
Well, you have mosquitoes right now, which of course they're everywhere, but don't feel like you're gonna escape them by coming
You're not
to
escaping
the
anything in the country.
country.
You're more coming to it in the country.
That's one. Secondly, you have a lot of there are rodents. To be honest with you, they're not as big as the city rats or the town rats, but they're here. They're field mice. They're all over, and you'll see them a lot after it rains. So you have to prepare yourself for that. In fact, our dog had a close contact with one and got sick, and of
Right.
course, it can cause us to be sick as well. So you have to be
Right.
careful with that.
Lepto.
So how you store your stuff, how you dispose of your garbage, that's a big thing, because you don't get typical garbage truck to come.
Yes, I didn't even think about that one.
Hmm.
No garbage truck is coming here. when we lived in Portmore, St. Catherine, the garbage truck was right there.
Yeah, twice
But
a week
yeah,
to come and
yeah,
get the garbage.
yeah. Another thing is like stray animals. We deal with stray animals everywhere, but here we deal with them too, right? The cats, the dogs. But I remember once, um, some pigs accidentally got let out.
Right.
And the gentleman was like, "Boy, it's a lucky thing that your gate was closed because the pigs would have destroyed your farm, you know." And we couldn't manage that. Like Papa G would just
Go
go
crazy.
crazy. Another thing as well, we've had cows too come on
Yes.
our property and try and eat down things. And this is something you have to think about. The fact that when you move to the country, you need to secure your property
That's a very important point.
because
And
goats,
mhm,
they will demolish what you plant. They will demolish anything you plant. They will just demolish it. And that's just also okay. Let's finish with the animals, but like lizards,
lizards, cockroaches,
scorpions. Remember, I saw a scorpion.
scorpion, 40 leg, mongoose. Well, we see them a lot, but they don't affect us so much because I guess we don't have chickens. But if you have chickens or pets like that, they can. They are furious.
Yeah, yeah,
They can destroy your chickens and eat them,
yeah,
or eat your eggs or what have you. So, but there are different levels of securing your properties as well because the first time we had a fence, but animals are still coming through the fence. So then we had to
get hog wire,
reinforce the fence with hog wire so that it
small
prevent
out.
the smaller animals from coming
Yeah,
through. I mean, the mongoose and the cats can still come, but at least the dogs and big animals they
right.
stay out.
Right. Because the dogs, you never say, "Oh, dog." They will run like 4 or 5 of them will come and run through the farm, mash up the
Hmm.
farm. Like anything that's there and it's young, you definitely don't want that. So you have to think, okay, I'm dealing with stray animals, so I have to like fence my property. Because you may not move on the property yet, but the first thing you want to do is start
Plant, yeah,
planting
yeah.
something, farming something. You don't want to come back, which is a story I hear all the time. They come back and nothing is there. The goats, the cows eat down everything.
And humans too. Let's not forget. People will come and take what you have worked so hard to plant or to spend all this time watering, planting, and you go away and you come back and all the mangoes, all everything has been reaped, and you can hear the dogs and barking. That's another way of securing the property too, because the certain animals will stay away when you have dogs,
Yeah.
goats, other
No,
dogs,
other humans.
other humans. So that also helps to secure and protect your property.
One thing I tell people to brace themselves for is a lot of disappointments. A lot of disappointments, which is character building, by the way, because our reaction should wane with the disappointments as they come. So you have the disappointment. You shouldn't be, oh my gosh, you're wounded up by these
Hmm.
disappointments. No, we have to see the disappointment after a while and okay, pray about it. Just lean on God. It's not easy. Easier said than done. Easier said than done, but it just is what it is. Like the no rain.
Right, the no rain is a big thing, um, and other things. I mean, can go to think about the lack of connectivity. So you may have poor cell signal, which means that you have to go certain places to make phone call. There's also poor internet access. Everybody needs internet these days
Right.
for work or for just communication or what have you. So we have a lot of issues with internet here. So don't expect to get the same kind of speed or the same sort of reliable connection that you are used to in the town. So sometimes you come home, maybe you're not gonna be able to have internet until you go back into the town.
Yeah, that's what happens to us a lot.
We every single month there is not a day that there's at least a couple of days that we just don't have connection.
There are more days than not that we don't have connection for
Yeah.
us. And it's weird because our neighbors use the same internet and they have connection.
So yeah.
I don't know what it is, and so we've just gotten accustomed to it. It is what it is. We've also so in especially coming out of COVID, there are more Zoom stuff, right?
Right. Meetings and
Meetings and stuff. We've realized that it's hard for us because you even have church having programs, and they'll say, "Hey, we'll do it online,"
mhm.
and I cannot be a part of it. I can't say yes because I am going to not be able to be a part of that.
We just don't know, you know. And then there's also more frequent at least that's what I experienced. Maybe I'm wrong, but I feel like we get more power outages,
Well, we live
And
in
longer.
Jamaica, so there are countries that don't have power outages like that. Because in America, they don't really have,
Very, very rarely.
very rarely, right?
Mm.
But in Jamaica, we have power outages, and in the rural area, there's just more.
And longer too. Like I
Yes,
feel like they try to get it back quicker, which
for the
makes sense.
town
You know, you have
and the
hospitals,
corporate
you have
places.
businesses and stuff. So there is more urgency to get it restored in those places, especially after a disaster. You know, but it happens on a regular basis, even when it's a regular day.
Right. No, but speaking of that, speaking of the utilities, you have to think about the water.
Mm.
So you have to think about road accessibility.
Mm-hmm.
You have to think about the water. You have to think about what utilities, what's the reliability of the utilities. If not, you have to make certain provisions. So if you don't have any electricity where you're going, you have to think about an alternative power source. If you don't have any water, you have to either have a tank or dig a well or
Make sure if you have water on
something.
the property, like a river or
Yeah,
a stream or
yeah.
something, you can harvest water from.
So yeah, that's something you have to think about when you go into the country. You have to think about all of those things, right?
And we're not complaining, but we're just trying to, I guess, set the expectation that
Yeah,
because sometimes you will come to a new setting and you see all these things and you become overwhelmed, maybe even disappointed, and you're
right.
wondering, what am I doing? And all these things. But you remember when Moses left Egypt? I'm sure he had a similar experience when he was in the desert, in the wilderness
He was
for
used
the
to
40,
yeah,
when he met his wife and
right,
in Midian and so forth. So it was, I'm sure it was kind of you know, a change in speed for sure.
right.
He's used to a lot of, I mean, he's coming from the palace, so he's used to a lot of accessibility, a lot of connectivity,
Food readily
everything, and his
available.
servants and all this, everything that Egypt had to offer at the
Yeah,
time, he had access to. But, he had to go through that process of unlearning all of that for the 40 years before he was even fit to go and lead. And that is what helped him when he was leading the children of Israel, because they were such a difficult bunch to deal with.
not
So
only that, he had to bring them back through the wilderness, so he knew the
he knew,
disappointments
right?
already.
He
Like
was already prepared.
when you think about it, even Mara, I always imagine that he already knew that the water was bitter. So he was going, people them around to them see water, and he's like, "Oh my word, I know that there's this water is," but
Mm,
he knows what's coming. So it helps you. It is in the same way that we are preparing, because they were preparing for Canaan, promised land.
right.
We're preparing for heaven. So the country is supposed to bring us through these disappointments, these hardships, to prepare us for heaven. Christ came on earth, he went through hardships. We can't expect to overcome them. And if we, the verse says basically, if we try to save our life, we will lose it. But if
Hmm.
we lose our life, coming to the country, doing things we don't like,
For my sake, you will
then
gain
we'll
it.
find it.
Mm.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Another thing as well, because they're far away from everything, when natural disasters happen, remember
You,
the fire, like your
mm,
aids are so far from you, you may never get any. So fire, hurricane. I remember when the light went in the hurricane and the wires popped down, and you just don't have that connectivity.
yeah. So for that, I mean, how do you combat that? Is one thing is to have a good community of people around you. I remember when we had the fire, our neighbors came to help. I
Yes.
remember after the hurricane, some of our friends came with the power saw to help,
Trees that had fallen down in our property and
cut up
stuff
the
like
trees
that.
for us and stuff like that. So it's good to have community of people, like-minded people around you
Yes.
that can help you, because you just never know. Imagine if you, and that's why it's so dangerous if like a older person, single person that live alone out
And
in
they
the
don't have
country and they don't
community
have community,
because you can do it, but
and
you
even if,
need to have community.
yeah, you need to have that extra support. And thank goodness we don't have like severe like winter storms and kind of stuff there on a regular. But every now and then we have our hurricanes, or we can have a fire or a flood, and you need some help.
Right.
So,
And it's important to know the area because, as mentioned in flood, mentioned in hurricane,
mhm.
like where are you to where the hurricane? Are you more inland? The hurricane would be too bad, or it tends not to be as bad as if you're closer to the shore, like things like that. So it's important to look at these natural disasters and to see, you know, another thing as well when we see the effects of the hurricane, because we even see our light or electricity company JPS going around and cutting down every single tree.
Right now for this year,
That
it's
is,
close to the wire.
oh my word, that is close to the wire. It pains Shion heart. He's like, why are they cutting down all these aged trees?
Man, I wish they would not cut down the tree like that. I don't mind if they will just remove the limbs that are causing problem, but these guys are butchering the trees, especially fruit trees, and it's just so hard to see. But what can I do?
But that's something also to learn, that when you're growing your trees, don't grow them near government wires or government properties or stuff like that. That way you ensure that they can't infringe on your
Hmm.
crops that you've grown. You know
A
what I
lot of
mean?
people there, I see breadfruit tree, avocado tree,
Star apple
sour apple
tree
tree, mango
was
tree,
bad.
coconut tree, all these things that just
Everything.
come out of pew.
Just chop them down.
Oops.
They don't even say, let me just cut the part that's going to affect. They cut the whole tree. It's really bad. But these are the things you have to face,
Hmm.
right? And so when you're in the country, you have to think of being kind of away from public stuff.
Yeah.
That's the best way I can say it. I can't say it any other way. This one,
Hmm.
working more on the land and having decreased spending power. So with my parents deciding to move with us, that's two jobs that are gone. Because my mother used to work, my father used to work. They don't work anymore. My father totally does the farming, and mommy takes care of
The
the
household.
household. Those are two. That's two income that no longer comes in. With us also trying to work on the land and doing our own portion, Shion does more than I do. That's also decreased spending power again. So you're getting used to having less money. Not easy. That's definitely one of the ones that is, because we've gotten so acclimatized to having accessibility to money, swiping your card, spending, and then now you have to be thinking about
Mm.
what you're spending. Like, okay, is this something essential? Do we really need this? Because you don't have as much money running through the family. So that's something else you have to think about. If you're going to try and develop your land, you're gonna have decreased spending power. It
Yeah.
is just it just makes sense. Well, it just goes hand in hand, really, and it's not easy at all. Yeah,
And that's probably one of the major reasons why a lot of people haven't made the move as yet, is the jobs, or if they have children, access to schools.
yeah,
Um, all these things play a role. But the thing is that the longer you wait, the more difficult it will be, because they're spending power. The money, things are getting more expensive,
yeah.
long and short of it. And then
And you're making less.
you're making less. So you have to, even where you are right now, you have to start, even if it's just buying the seeds, buying the fruit trees, planting the fruit trees, buying the tools that you need,
Yeah,
buying the material that you need for the
start
house.
making
Start
provisions
make
from now.
Yeah, start every month or so when you get paid, put something aside towards the country property project, and don't wait um until you're actually ready now, and then the world is so unpredictable now. You never know what's gonna happen. If you can see, things can change like that. You know, we're living in such a tense geopolitical environment.
Volatile
But
time.
yeah, so you don't know when this tariff is gonna come, and or you no no you
You can't
can't
order
buy, you
anything,
can't order
or
anything, and
it's
it's
double
gonna
the
be
price.
so expensive, and it's gonna take so long, and you're there in limbo.
I don't know if you feel this way, but I feel like I'm living in a fake world.
The matrix, they call it. Mm.
I feel that some people say it's an alternate universe or whatever. I don't even want to get into that, but I just don't feel like the foundation is secure. I feel like at any moment it can just be removed from under us. I feel like when I go to the supermarket, I'm just like, one day I won't be able to come here. But everybody, when you talk to them, what are you talking about?
Mm.
What do you mean that things are not going to be the same forever? They can't relate. A lot of people, even Adventists, Seventh-day Adventists, and I just feel like a lot of it is just a facade. It's just
Yeah, it feels like a
like
theater.
a,
It's
yeah,
it's like it's just people playing
like
their
we're just act,
roles. Like
yeah,
everything, it has been predicted for centuries, or those the power that be, so to speak. They know what they're leading us towards, and if we are studying the prophecy, we also should know, you know, as well. But they have their own agenda, and God has His own agenda. But it will affect God's people, just like how the plagues affected.
the
The,
first three plagues affected the Israelites. It's the
hmm
last seven plagues that only affected the Egyptians. And why I want to say this is the facade situation is this. don't get used to the situation you're in now with everything being accessible, because one day it won't be accessible to you. But we're getting so used to everything being accessible that we cannot think
And
of a time
that's a trap.
that it won't. It's a trap.
It's a
We
trap.
can't think of a time that it won't be. So I have had to be reminding myself, one day I won't be able to buy gas to put in my car. I'll have to, maybe I need some bicycles.
Maybe with the donkey.
Maybe we need a donkey. We have to think about these things, because everything, you're working, working, working. I don't know about you, but it's like I'm working and the money is just butter
Yeah.
against sun, butter against the sun. So this is just to tell you, this is just to help you to understand that we're doing it. You can do it too. Just brace yourself for it, and it's a more peaceful life.
Yeah, let's talk about some of the positiveness. We talk about the character building already, which
Yeah,
is very important
yeah.
for your journey, your heavenward journey.
I feel like I can come home and I can come here, sit in the yam field, and just be at peace. Just watch the yams sway on the yam stick, and just be at peace. Be with the dogs, be with my family. It's just different. And when I'm home, elsewhere, I may hear certain music, and I can't differentiate. Meaning when I'm in Kingston, Portmore, wherever in the city, and I cannot differentiate between what's going on in my house and what's going on outside. You know, that's definitely one of the things. We definitely do family worship more now. We have more time because my parents are working.
Yeah,
So
it's much easier to do that,
yeah,
for sure.
more stability there.
And if you have children, it's such a better environment to raise them. Kind of piggybacking on what you're saying about things that's coming into your house that you don't need. People talking, they maybe
When my neighbors used to
having
play music and talk, I would
swearing,
hear it.
bad
Yeah,
words, whatever. Everything comes in really. So
fighting
you
violence.
don't want to. That's just too close to home,
Yeah,
so
yeah.
to speak.
So the environment changes. What happens as well, I believe, because you spend more time with yourself. When you're in town, your friend will swing by. You're always bombarded. A lot of distractions. Spend more time with yourself. You start to get acquainted with yourself. You start to realize what negatives are in your character, I would say, and what you need to work on. So I do a lot of introspection. I do a lot of, okay, Lord, so today happened. How could I have done better today? I have more of that sit down time. I'm very busy. I'm very busy, but I still get that time. I believe if I was in the town, I just wouldn't even have that time to think and breathe.
It's definitely more traffic to deal with,
Yes.
for sure.
And
Yep.
then we exercise in the mornings. We have the
Mm.
exercise. We taking in the fresh air. Just our food quality is so much better because we grow our food, right? Oh, the
Just
birds are passing.
yeah, just hearing and seeing the birds in the morning. I really like that.
Yeah,
It's really nice
yeah.
and
And we're
peaceful.
sitting here right now, and we're just seeing the birds fly overhead, and it's nice. So the environment changes. It helps your personality to change. You choose more of who surrounds you,
Right.
because you're kind of further away from people. So you are interacting when you're interacting with people, you're definitely making an effort to do so. So you choose more, and then of course your children get a purer environment. Or if your children don't have such a pure environment in the country, imagine if they were in the town. So if they're being bombarded by certain temptations even in the country, the town will be
Times up by 10.
tenfold.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So do you think of can you think of any other positive?
Um.
In the town we weren't able to have animals. We weren't able to have pets because
It's
it
not.
was so close.
Yeah.
And now
Definitely.
we have our dogs, such a fulfilling relationship with them and stuff like that, having pets. They,
You,
it, they say if you play with your dogs, you're oxytocin.
oh
Um,
yeah, for sure. I can feel
yeah,
that.
yeah. It
Just
actually
learning.
makes you healthier.
Yeah, it does make it. I mean, the grounding, being more exposed to the dirt is also therapeutic. Just learning more things. You learn how to, for me, example, how to farm. I mean, I've been learning a lot of that. You learn to do a lot more things around the house. That things that you may normally call somebody for, you may not have that ability to do so, or it may
Then
take
they're far
longer.
from you, or so.
So you have to learn to do little things around the house, which is very useful. So
Right.
you will learn on the go,
So you're garnering new skills
new
as well.
skills. Yeah.
And we can go on and on, but there are definitely more positives than negatives. But I don't want you to feel like
It's
sometimes we
all
glamorize it.
flowers and meadows.
We glamorize moving to the country, and then people are shocked, and then they move to the country, and
I
then they
move
go back.
back. Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's so much harder when that happens, you know,
To
because
come back
to
to the
come back.
country. Yeah.
So don't think that it's all butterflies and rainbows. Basically,
No. No.
it's gonna be hard work.
Yeah. So don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and hit the notification bell. And let us know what you want us to talk about as well. Is there any
Please
question that you have?
put it in the comment section.
Yes, about country living that you would like us to talk about? Feel free to put it below. And even just spirituality overall. Yeah. Have a good day.